The 2022-23 NBA season was one of the most action-packed in recent history. Whether it was the ridiculous high-scoring games every night, unexpected teams making the playoffs, or a new jaw incident that broke almost every 5 minutes. Oh wait, I can't show you that. Anyway, it was prime entertainment. But for some players, everything wasn't so great. In fact, it was quite the opposite. For some guys, they just had a bad season. For some, they missed damn near the whole season. Or for others, it was one moment in time that really put a stain on what they'd previously done the entire rest of the season. Either way, there are some players who really have to silence the critics this year. How's it going, my friend? I'm Alexander from Loan Management Media, and let's talk about 3 players who have the most to prove this upcoming NBA season. The first player who needs to prove himself this season is Bradley Beal. Over the last few seasons, Bradley Beal hasn't done that much. But now after being traded to the Phoenix Suns, the pressure is on. Since Beal's crazy 2021 31 point per game season, he really hasn't done that much. And the Wizards were stuck in mediocrity. Especially after he signed that massive contract extension last summer, it seemed like he was okay with just winning 35 games a season. But in Phoenix, only the best will be expected. The Suns are second favorite in the West to win the chip, and really that is the only acceptable outcome for most. For Beal, with the Suns, he'll have to play third option behind KD and Booker, something he's never done before. But he'll have just as much pressure as the other 2 star men. Beal is one of those guys who is a great scorer, and he gets an all-star appearance every few years. But he's not a Hall of Famer. And at this moment in time, he'll be forgotten by generations in the future. In Phoenix, Beal has the chance to flip that narrative and make himself a great, with no better way than winning a championship. With a good regular season, and most importantly, great play in the playoffs, Beal can go from pretty good to someone who will really be remembered 30 years down the line. The second player who really has to prove themselves this year is Zion Williamson. Contrary to a lot of players, what Zion needs to prove isn't much to do with his on-court play, but rather everything to do with his off-court habits. Everybody knows that he can't stay on the court for multiple reasons, whether it be fitness, injuries, porn stars, you name it, but it always seems like there's something going on. And at this point, I don't even know if Zion's going to be fit to start the season. Really, what would shut everybody up, including myself, is if he just played a good consistent 60 games. I'm not even focused on numbers because I know if he plays, he's going to be good. Even though it feels like he never plays basketball, he's still only 23 years old, and there have been other young injury-riddled players his age who have come back to have long, productive NBA careers. Everybody knows how good Zion Williamson is, but if you play 0 games, it does not matter. It's especially frustrating considering how good New Orleans has been when he's played and when everybody has been healthy. I will never say Zion is a bust, even if he doesn't play a single other NBA game. But if he keeps up this trajectory, he'll be a severe disappointment and some of the most wasted talent in NBA history. But probably the player who has the most to prove this upcoming season, well, it has to be Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown actually had the best regular season of his career last year. He averaged 27 points and got his first All-NBA honor. But that was all overshadowed by his Game 7 Conference Finals performance versus the Miami Heat. In Game 7, Jalen Brown had possibly his worst performance of the playoffs at the worst time possible. He had 19 points on 8 of 23 shooting, 1 of 9 from 3, and the worst, 8 turnovers. It was pretty ugly. But considering his whole season and upward trajectory, the Celtics gave him a 5-year, $288 million contract. And a lot of people aren't happy with the decision. I completely understand the whole thing about the Celtics needing to get to that championship level and that maybe JB's holes in his game are not going to help them do it. But as bad and as suspect as that left hand can be at some times, I believe he's going to come back stronger. And he can help them get to that championship level and get them to win that championship finally. It is fair though, all the pressure he has on him considering the contract and that Game 7 performance. For Brown, a strong regular season is important, but where he needs to prove his worth is ultimately in the playoffs. And just like for Beal, a championship is probably the only thing that will suffice. Jalen Brown is just entering the prime of his career, and he has plenty of years and seasons to right his wrongs. But this year is the most important in making his Miami playoff woes a thing of the past. And because of all this, and the fact that he just received the biggest contract in NBA history, Jalen Brown has the most to prove out of any player in the NBA. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see some more consistent original NBA content talking about everything there is in the NBA world, then this is the place for you. I'll be putting out at least one new piece of NBA content a week, so if that interests you, consider hitting a like and a sub. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.